Have you ever felt so burdened by life that you wish for the end? Job did. Imagine the weight of the world pressing down on your shoulders, every breath a struggle, every moment a battle. This was the reality for Job. His suffering was more than physical pain, it was a deep, soul-crushing despair. He longed for death, not out of a lack of courage, but as a release from his torment. In the midst of his agony, his friend Eliphaz accused him of sinning, suggesting that his suffering was a direct result of his transgressions. But Job, even in his despair, clung to his integrity. He didn't deny his pain or his longing for relief. Instead, he turned to his friends and challenged them. "Find any sin in me," he demanded. His voice echoed with the conviction of his innocence. In his darkest hour, Job held on to his righteousness, his belief in his own moral standing. He didn't shy away from his wish for death. Instead, he acknowledged it as a natural desire for release from his severe suffering. But even as he expressed this desire, he stood firm in his conviction of his own innocence. He didn't let his pain distort his perception of himself. Job, in his despair, holds firm to his innocence, challenging his friends to find any fault in him. He stands as a testament to the strength of character that can exist, even in the face of overwhelming despair. Ever been in a situation where you question the wisdom of the divine? Ponder on this as we delve into Job's contemplation of God's wisdom and power. Job, a man of unshakable faith, finds himself wrestling with the enigma of heavenly wisdom. He is in the throes of agony, under a crushing burden of sorrow, and yet, he dares to question. Job gazes into the night sky, marveling at the Creator's boundless power. The stars, the moon, the vast cosmos, they all sing of God's wisdom. Yet, in the face of his own immense suffering, Job wonders about the nature of this divine wisdom. Is it truly wise? Is it just? Job's heart yearns for a mediator, someone who can bridge the chasm between him and God. He feels a profound sense of injustice. He's lived a righteous life, so why this suffering? Why this pain? It's a question as old as humanity itself. Job's struggle to understand his suffering paints a vivid picture of the human condition. We, like Job, often find ourselves grappling with the mysteries of life, wrestling with questions that seem to have no answers. But here's the thing about Job. Despite his questions, despite his doubts, he never loses faith. He challenges, yes, but he doesn't renounce. He laments, but he doesn't lose hope. He questions, but he never ceases to believe. Job grapples with the mystery of divine wisdom, feeling the weight of injustice, yet unable to challenge the Almighty. But what happens when a friend responds not with comfort but with judgment? Enter Bildad, the second of Job's three friends. His response to Job's plight is starkly different from what we might expect. Bildad doesn't offer consolation, he delivers a verdict. In his mind, Job's suffering is not a random act of fate, but a direct consequence of some hidden sin. It's a worldview that's as simple as it is harsh. Good things happen to good people and bad things happen to bad people. Bildad's logic is linear and unyielding, a universe where every action has an equal and opposite reaction. No room for gray areas, no room for the inexplicable. But Job insists on his innocence, creating a stark contrast between his own understanding of his situation and Bildad's assumption of his guilt. This only serves to further isolate Job in his suffering. Bildad, seeing only cause and effect, assumes Job's guilt and further deepens his despair. How does one respond when accused unjustly? The stage is set for Job's rebuttal. He stands firm, insisting on his innocence, his words echoing with indignation and a yearning for a fair hearing from God. "Oh, that I had someone to hear me!" he cries out, his voice heavy with frustration. His friends, who should have been his comfort, have become his accusers. Their words, intended to bring solace, only add fuel to the fire of his anguish. Job yearns for understanding, a balm for the wounds inflicted by his suffering and his friends' misguided accusations. He longs for vindication, a validation of his integrity, a testimony to his faithfulness. Amidst his pain and despair, Job seeks more than just relief. He desires understanding, the unraveling of the mystery that has become his life, and above all, he seeks vindication. Job, in his pain, seeks not just relief but understanding and vindication.